And Pedro, thank you so much for your time, man. You're a family man, an author, entrepreneur, and founder of the 100X Academy. It's an honor to be able to talk to you today, man. I appreciate it.
Same. Looking forward to it, Eric.
I've followed you for a while online because I'm a Jesus follower. I'm an entrepreneur. And the message that you have for 100X really was intriguing to me. For those who don't know what 100X Academy is, could you give us the lowdown of what that is?
Yeah, it's 100X Academy it's something that I did not actually try to create on purpose, which kind of sounds weird to say, but what it really is, it's basically, it's kind of, I went out and I just asked the question, was there anyone else kind of like me? Because I've felt so alone for so long as, being in the spiritual community and in my church and in my local churches, which I love my local church. I have some amazing friendships there. I have an amazing spiritual community I'm part of, but I'm really kind of more ambitious than most people in my spiritual community. I don't have a lot of entrepreneur friends that I met there. So I didn't really fully ever feel like I fit in just with my church friends. And then when it came to marketing and business entrepreneurship, I have so many friends there and all these great events I go to. And unfortunately, I didn't see a lot of God. I didn't see a lot of purpose. I saw a lot of money chasing and all about building empires and pride and ego, and didn't see a lot of substance behind that. And so I'm like, man, so I never really felt I could be myself there either. So 100X is basically where we are a group of people who love God, who are passionate about the Lord, passionate about the kingdom, and at the same time love business, love entrepreneurship, have big goals and big dreams, and don't want to be shy about that, and don't want to have to kind of be quiet or dumb down our success and our ambition. So it's literally what I think is the best of these two worlds. It's the best of entrepreneurship, where it's the best of entrepreneurship training, marketing training, what's working right now to build businesses. And it's the best of kingdom revelation and prophetic training on how to hear God for yourself combined in one package, an amazing community. And it's just kind of taken off, man, as you've kind of seen. It's really special. It really is.
That's awesome. You mentioned on your website you've got these guys who are like prophetic partners that have been a huge foundation or a huge part of the foundation of 100X. What does it mean to be a prophetic partner?
Yeah, so the prophetic is basically, it's in the Bible. There's prophets there's whole books in the Bible, prophets. Isaiah was a prophet, right? Elijah was a prophet. Elisha was a prophet. Like, there's whole book. Ezra was a prophet. Like, there's this whole book. So there's this whole idea of a person being a prophet, right? So a prophet is basically, or to think about even the prophetic, is just someone who hears God. And really, all of us should be prophetic. All of us who are following the Lord, who have a relationship with God, my sheep hear my voice, said Jesus, right? So prophetic is just being able to tap in, hear God for yourself, or maybe for others. So I have a lot of friends and who are highly prophetic, and God will reveal things to them about me, about my life, about the call of my life. Yeah. And so we have stewarded those words very well, and so they've helped us give us direction. The prophetic can give you direction or clarity of assignment, purpose. It can just encourage you. But what makes 100X very special is that it's not just kingdom training. It's not just entrepreneurship. That's great. But we have the best in class, I believe, kingdom training on how the kingdom operates, kingdom teaching on actual, what does that mean, the kingdom? How does that operate? How do I work with this kingdom's concept? Right. Then we have best in class marketing and training on sales and Facebook ads and funnels and all that stuff. But then we have all of that is cloaked and wrapped in this prophetic, Holy Spirit-led context, and that's what makes it like super sweet and super rich. And that's what makes us unlike anything I've ever seen in the world, And Holy Spirit is our helper. He's the helper. And so when you think prophetic, you can also think about just being able to tap in and where Holy Spirit has been given liberty to speak and lead,
Absolutely. When did you realize that you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
I would say I was older. I was already, I had a wife, I had kids. I was in the corporate world, and I was getting bored with my job, man, to be honest. Just my job was getting boring. I was tired of commuting. Yeah. I'm like, you get a raise, your raise is like, oh, you got a 5% raise this year. I'm like, really? That's it? Like, that's nothing, right? So I wanted to see my income grow faster and so I'm like, well, I guess I gotta just do my own thing. And so I got into real estate, and real estate was my path out of corporate. Gotcha. I became a real estate appraiser, then I became a real estate broker, became a real estate loan officer. So real estate was my way out of the corporate world. And then we went on to do full-blown financial planning. And then, of course, now, the last 12 plus months, we're running 100X, teaching, entrepreneurship and marketing to kingdom people all over the world.
Wow. I would love to know, what is your greatest skill or asset?
Well, I would say so a couple things. One is, I think, so there's skills, there's skills, and then there's gifts.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I think one of my best skills is communicating, like being an effective communicator, a passionate communicator, a communicator that like can grab someone's and really kind of just pull them in, And so I would say like my greatest skill is communicating and marketing. Gotcha. I mean, I'm a marketer. Okay. Yeah. My greatest gift, I believe, is I feel like I have a gift of I have like a gathering. I'm like a gift of evangelism and gathering, so that it's not hard for me to gather people, right? Like we're gonna have like 700-800 people at our conference like next week. We've only been around for a year, a little over a year. There are companies who've been around for 20, 30 years that never have events that large, and we're doing big events within our first 12 months of being around. Wow. Like that's a gift on my life, is to gather people and pull people together, and like that's just a gift. So that's probably one of my greatest gifts, which is a God-given kind of thing. Yeah. And then there's the skill set I developed, which is communicating and marketing.
Okay. Awesome. And for those who want to be an entrepreneur, they're not really sure where to start, what do you suggest?
Well, one is why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Okay. Yeah. And because you don't have to be a quote unquote, like you don't have to be an entrepreneur to be entrepreneurial.
Yes, that's true.
Okay. Entrepreneurship is a state of mind.
Yes.
It's a mindset. It's a heart posture. It's not just how you get paid. Right. So you can have an entrepreneurial spirit and be an employee and work for a company, but you have an entrepreneurial spirit about yourself. So you're solution oriented. You're looking to always help and add value. You're not doing the minimum. You're looking for ways to serve and help. And so I think all believers, all Christians, all people who are in the kingdom should have an entrepreneurial spirit about them. Whether you work for a company or you work for yourself, it doesn't matter. So to me, you should not have an employee mindset in the kingdom, because if you're in the kingdom, you're actually part of a family. You're in the family business. Jesus said, didn't you know I'd be about my Father's business? Yeah. So if you're saved in the kingdom, you should be about our Father's business, which means you're in the family business, which means why are you having an employee mindset if you're in the family business? Now, and if you're working somewhere for a company, you should be working there as unto the Lord, which means you still should be having a more of a zealous entrepreneurial spirit about you than just an employee mindset, check in, clock out kind of mindset. Yeah. So I think one is get your mind right about like entrepreneurship is about solving problems. It's about being a solution. It's about adding value. It's about being resourceful. It's about being creative. All those things you could be anywhere, regardless of how you get paid. But if you want to be a classic kind of entrepreneur and be on your own, do your own thing, then I mean, gosh, there's so many places to start. I mean, obviously, if you're a believer, if you're a believer and you want to build a business that expands the kingdom and you want to build it on kingdom values, kingdom principles, I mean, if you want the shortcut and fast track, it's us. I mean, hands down, we have the best training out there for people that really want to build their life and business on kingdom principles. And I don't know why you wouldn't.
Right.
Kingdom principles work everywhere all the time. I'm like, this is the legal shortcut. Like when you have the wisdom of God, which we can appropriate the wisdom of God and the ways of God through learning his kingdom methods and principles, like why would you not want to partner and build up on that versus the trial and the error that the world offers? So, but there's some decent stuff out there as well. I've learned a lot from Russell Brunson. Yes. I've learned a lot from Russell. I've learned a lot from, I can name a long list of people, but Russell's probably my main kind of marketing mentor now. I'm part of his inner circle, but Jay Abraham is a great place to learn about business. Seth Godin has a good book on marketing. Seth Godin's written some good books. But Russell Brunson, with his expertsecrets.com secrets, really is going to put together in a couple of books a very good foundation for how to think about entrepreneurship, especially online marketing.
Right. Absolutely. Wanted to shift a little bit to the financial side of things. You said you kind of came from that side of things, and you hear of people who are when they win the lotto or they come across money from a death in the family or something like that, and then they just go blow it. When someone comes into money, in your opinion, what's the best plan of action for them?
Well, people that come into money, it tends to not go well. Right? Because money puts pressure on you.
Yes.
So not having enough money puts pressure. And then when you have all this extra money, too much money, if you will, which sounds crazy, I can have too much money. When you have more money than you know what to do with, that creates pressure. Yeah. And so I would say if you've come into sums of money through inheritance or whatever, I would do nothing. I would literally do nothing for like 6 months.
Gotcha.
I would literally do nothing. I would be focused on education. I would be starting to get some books, get some mentors, get people around you pretty quickly. Don't make any loans to family. Don't be doing stuff like don't go buy a Bentley. For the next 6 months, become a student, hardcore student, and get a mentor or two. I've seen people just do really rash decisions, not just stupid stuff, but like go buy buildings because they thought, oh, I should buy a building, and they bought in the wrong market. So just take your time, become a student, recognize you do not know, recognize that you got money that you don't know how to get. Like you weren't involved with creating this wealth, so now because you didn't create it, you have no idea how to manage it, steward it. So just be honest about that. Stay humble. Go get some mentors and get some teachers.
Yeah, awesome. Now you wrote a book called The Finished Life, and you mentioned the identity is of significant importance, into living that finished life. But what did you mean by that?
Yeah, so in The Finished Life, I spent almost 5 years in the Gospels. In the 4 Gospels.
Okay. Wow.
And I was fascinated with looking at the life of Jesus from a human perspective, right? Sure. Of course, he's Jesus, he's God, and he was God, is God. But when he walked the earth, Eric, he walked the earth as a man. He was fully God, but at the same time, fully man. Yeah. Which means when Jesus walked the earth, he walked the earth just like you and I right now today. No different. So my whole life, growing up as a kid and a young adult, I just wanted my life to matter. Mm-hmm. I just wanted my life to matter. That's all I wanted. I don't want to live and just live. I want to live and know that my life mattered for something.
Right.
So I've always been wired for impact, even as a young kid. And you look at the life of Jesus, historically speaking, it's undeniable. The human life, the historical human life of Jesus of Nazareth, mm-hmm. hands down the most impactful life ever lived. Yes. I mean, that's not me as a Christian saying that. That's just historically factual, right?
Right. Yep.
Now I'm like, how does this guy 2,000 plus years ago, no cars, no telephones, no technology, in basically 33 years, 3 years of public work and ministry, changed the world forever.
Yeah. In
3 years. It doesn't even make sense.
Right.
So I'm like, there must be some clues. How did he do, because he was a man. He didn't do it as God. He didn't, hear this. He didn't do it as God. Well, he's God. No, he did that as a man. So I wanted to know, how did he do that? What was that? So I did all this research, read a bunch of books, 4 or 5 years in the Gospels, 3-4 hours a day in the Gospels. And I took hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of notes. And I looked at all of these different principles and ideas, and it boiled it all down to there was 3 things that his life was marked by. One, he was marked by perfect revelation of his identity. He knew who he was.
Yeah.
He had perfect revelation of his sonship to the Father. He was perfectly connected to his Father, and there was never a fracture. There was never any lack of clarity, no identity crisis. He knew who he was. He knew why he was here. He knew what his purpose was. He knew exactly why he was here and what he was here to do. Clarity of purpose. He knew who he was. He knew why he was here, and then he moved in power because the way that he lived, the way he taught, his whole life, what he did and believed was built on kingdom principles. So He knew who he was, identity. He knew why he was here, purpose. And he moved in power because he functioned and lived his life as this. So the finished life unpacks. It's called the finished life, an adventure into identity, purpose, and power. And it's basically about like how we can begin to make massive impact through understanding and learning the ways of Jesus, the ways. The ways, the methods, the systems, how we did relationships, how we communicated, and different high leverage kingdom principles and keys that we can begin to partner with.
Gotcha. How did you come to know the Lord?
At a funeral.
At a funeral. Okay.
I gotta say that at a funeral. 28 years old.
Wow.
28 years old. I gotta say that at a funeral because this friend of ours who was dying of cancer, breast cancer. She was probably at that time maybe 30 years old. She had fought cancer twice. This came back a third time. She didn't want to fight anymore. She was done with the chemo, all that stuff. So she's about to widow her husband. She's about to die and not raise 2 kids. One was, I think, 8. One was like 6.
Wow.
Worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
So, and they happen to be Portuguese. I'm Portuguese. So we knew about this through the Portuguese community. So I went to the house to kind of pay my respects and go see her and just kind of console the husband before she died. She's literally on her deathbed, right? So I pull up to the house and there's all these cars outside. And I'm like, oh, I guess all the other Portuguese, friends and people are here.
Yeah.
I go inside the house. There's people everywhere, Eric. There's people doing homework with the kids. Someone's cooking someone's making food in the kitchen. Someone's doing laundry. People walking around praying. And like, there's just all of these people there, like really supporting and helping. And I'm looking at these people. I'm like, I don't recognize any of them. I'm like, these aren't our Portuguese friends from the Portuguese community. Yeah. I'm like, who are these people? So I'm like, hey, is Joe here? They're like, yeah, he's upstairs. So I go up and I find Joe. I said, Joe, man, I'm so sorry, bro. I can't. This is terrible. I'm so sorry. He's like, yeah, man, it sucks, whatever. And I'm like, Joe, who are all these people? He said, oh, this is our church family.
Wow.
I'm like, church family? What's a church family? He said, these are all of our friends from church. I was like, very confused. I'm like, I go to church.
Yeah.
I'm like, I go to church. I don't think any people from my church would be doing this at my house. I'm thinking like, this is very strange. So that kind of got me thinking like, what is this about? Then I went to go into the room to see his wife, Lizette, who is dying. Her body is shutting down. Like, she's not gonna make it, right? Like, short of a miracle, like she's lit. She knows she's going to die. This is the worst case. I walk into the room and I look at her and her body is shutting down and she's laying there and all I can feel coming off of her is this peace.
Wow. Peace
and like this just like joy and there's she almost was radiating. But she's not even dead yet. And I'm thinking like, what the heck is my mind is being scrambled. Sure. I'm like, this is terrible. Like she's about to die and not raise these kids. And she's the most peaceful person in this whole place. Wow. So I got in the car. I got left to call my wife. I said, babe, I don't know what I just saw. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, I don't know. I came to this house. I said, here's what I know. If you were dying, I would want all the support that I just saw Joe have. Yes. If you were going to die, I would want all that family and support around me. And if that was me dying, I want that peace.
Right, yeah.
I don't know what this is, but the first time it's ever offered to me, I'm going to say yes. I told my wife that on the phone on the drive home. Wow. She died a couple days later, funeral a couple of days later. The pastor gave an altar call at the funeral, not an altar call. But there was no altar call to come forward, but he offered salvation. I put my hand in the air. I prayed the prayer. I got saved at 28 years old at a funeral.
Wow, man, what a testimony, man! That is.
And then I bought my first Bible. Okay. Now, mind you, I was born and raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school for 12 years.
Okay. Wow.
I went to private Catholic school for 12 years. Never owned a Bible. Was never told to even get a Bible or read a Bible. So now I got saved at 28. I go buy a Bible. It's right here. It's the first Bible I ever bought. It's this the thing's been through everything, right? Look at this thing.
Yeah.
Okay? It's falling apart. The seams all blown out, right? I get a Bible. I go to church. And then the pastor gives another altar call at Sunday service. I do it again to make sure it's stuck. So I come forward and I get saved in church again. We do it again. And didn't know anybody there. Just turned out that Joe, the husband, happened to be there.
Wow.
So he came up and put his hand, was there and prayed with me. And I'm by myself. My wife didn't want to go. She thought I was crazy. Everyone thought I was kind of crazy. You know, we're kind of like from a, you know, Portuguese, we're Catholic. That's what we do. So like, it's kind of a strange thing to do. And by myself, went to church and just got on fire for God, man. Like, right, started doing just church planning in Mexico and just I'm kind of like an all-in kind of guy. Either I'm in or I'm not, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And I saw with my own eyes, man. I saw it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this, you know, I saw stuff. I saw stuff that didn't make sense in the natural. So, yeah, man.
Super.
That was 14, 16, 16 years ago.
That is awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing that story. That's a great story, man. And man, just amazing to hear all that transition for you. I had a few fun questions for you. Who inspires and motivates you?
Who inspires and motivates me? So, of course, like I have people I'm learning from. I don't draw motivation from that per se. I'm just chasing after God, man. I'm just trying to do, I just want his best for my life. Like, yeah. I don't really need to be rah-rahed up, you know?
Right.
I've been inspired by amazing lives. Like, I'll tell you one name, Heidi Baker. Okay. You might not know who she is. Maybe you do. I don't know. Like, Heidi Baker spent 30 years in Africa as a missionary in Mozambique. Like, and what God's done through her life, and she's changed the country. Like, it was one of the most poorest countries on the planet was Mozambique, and like single-handedly by going there 20 plus years ago and just being faithful there, like she's kind of raised the standard of living for an entire nation. Wow. Right? I mean, yeah. What she's done in that country, and I mean, so like Mama Heidi inspires me, like just seeing people who are just surrendered, would just say yes to God, and just, you know what I mean? So that I'm those kind of people inspire me.
Sure.
You know, as far as motivation, I think who motivate me is the people I serve.
Yeah.
Our 100X community. Like, I'm motivated just to continue to show up and serve them every day and just do as much as I can for them. How, you know, just to be as much as I can for them. Serve, you know, my kids, my wife, kids, you know. But it's more of an internal. I think you got to be careful about drawing too much motivation from external factors.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
And the kingdom is inside out. So it's got to start in here, man. If it don't start in here, it's probably not gonna last.
Right. I agree.
You know?
I'm a music guy. What do you have a favorite band or a favorite type of music that you listen to?
Man, I play bass.
Okay.
So I love music. So man, I love all kinds of music, but I grew up as a kid on like hip hop, you know, and rock.
Nice.
So I mean, you know, when I'm at the gym, it's gonna be a lot of like either like I like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Audio Slave, Rage Against the Machine, you know, all that kind of stuff. Then I like hip hop. Okay. The new hip hop, you know, reggae, love reggae. You know, and there's even some country stuff I like these days too now, right? You know, so I just like good music. I just like music that has I want to feel the soul of the music. So if I can feel the heart of the music, I'm gonna like it, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty diverse in my musical tastes.
Awesome. Last question for you. As an entrepreneur, this question always comes up, but does it take money to make money?
No.
No. Okay. No. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I mean, money helps.
Sure.
Like money, you need money. I mean, yeah, I guess because I need a cell phone, right?
Sure.
I need a computer. So I guess, right? Yeah. I mean, but like if you have a computer and a cell phone, you're good. You can start.
Yep.
If you got those things, you can start and launch a business. Okay.
Yes.
Without tons of money. So and then you can just reinvest back in your business off of what you're earning. So no, you don't need a lot. In fact, sometimes having money hurts your business because you just throw money at stuff and don't think about a better resourceful kind of way to solve problems. So everybody has what they need to get to from where they are to where they need to go.
Yes.
God has not left anybody without anything. Every single one of us has something in our hand that we have access to, and we can multiply to go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3.
Yes.
So you don't need a ton of money to get started. That's why I love entrepreneurship, online marketing.
Yeah.
You can go mow your neighbor's lawn.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hey, can I mow your lawn? Sure. Well, where's your lawnmower? And they use his own lawnmower to mow his own lawn. I mean, like, there's so many ways to make money that you don't need much money right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Agree. Well, cool, man. I also want to give you an opportunity to give a shout out to anybody that's on your team, family, your conference, your book, anything like that. The floor is yours, Pedro.
Yeah. So guys, if you're liking this conversation and you're seriously into your faith and growing in God and having a very kingdom-minded business, you really can't afford to miss our conference. It's epic, and you can come in person or grab the live stream. That's at www.100xconference.com. Do that. And then if you can learn more about us at www.100xacademy.com. And you can grab all kinds of free tools there about how to do this. And being a kingdom entrepreneur, man, is one of the greatest joys of my life. There's nothing cooler than getting to co-create, solve the world's problems with God,
Right.
And that's what we do. And God wants to do business with his sons and daughters. This is on the heart of God. He wants to prosper his kids by doing things with them to solve problems and add value to the world that you live in. So it's awesome, man.
So cool, man. It's an honor to talk to you. I'm fired up, man. I'm ready to go and go to that conference right now, man. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for taking the time, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Dude, I thought we were going to talk some MMA, man.
Right, yeah, MMA, come on. Who wins, Nate Diaz or Masvidal?
Oh, my God. Masvidal.
Masvidal, okay.
Masvidal should win.
Yes, yeah.
He's been the busier, more active fighter, even though, we don't really know, that Ben Askren knockout was kind of, I don't want to say it was a fluke because he says he practiced that and he was a strategy.
Yeah.
But we didn't learn anything in that fight, really,
I agree. Yeah, for sure, man.
But it's hard to go against Nate. I'm from California, and Nate's, even though he's not super active, he still trains a lot. But I'm a big UFC fan. That's my only hobby, really. I work.
Watching UFC.
I work,
sure.
And then I sleep. I hang out with my family, and I watch UFC. I don't have hobbies. I don't play golf. I don't have a poker night. What do you do for fun? I watch UFC and I eat pizza. That's my fun.
That's awesome. Very nice.
Cool, man. Well, dude, it was fun to be on the show, even though my beard game is zero. I can't even grow. I can't even grow anything. I'm still I'm waiting for puberty to come in. Can't grow a beard, I'm man, I'm on the Bearded Biz podcast. I don't have a beard. How's it going to work? But
right, yeah.
You made an exception for me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I need to put that in the subtitle, no beards required, because I've been asked that a couple times now. That's awesome.
Cool, bro.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been an honor. I'll be praying for you and praying for your conference and your speakers, man, and making sure that goes well for you.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging around. Really appreciate it. If you'd like to see more videos from Top Rated MMA and the Bearded Biz Show, please click the playlist and also hit subscribe to our channel. Become part of the Top Rated MMA and Bearded Biz community. We would really appreciate your support. Also, please leave a comment below. I will read and respond to all of them. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.